The dear Beller family, Marnie, children, Dasa and Gilad, Yehuda, Tzchak, Noam, Shira, Yair. I'd like to mention Rabbi Beller's father, Yonatan and Nicole. All Kirab, Shiftei Israel, and all our dear friends. First thing I'd like to mention is that I feel that this evening is a tikkun for something we could not do at the levaya, at the funeral. Rabbi Lichtenstein's funeral was mentioned here already. Rabbi Beller in his home had a picture. The pictures of Rabbi Lichtenstein Zichrono Livracha, Rabbi Vital Zichrono Livracha. Was very connected to them, to what he got from them in the yeshiva. At Rabbi Lichtenstein's funeral, which we attended, one of his sons, Rav Meir, mentioned the following story. During one of the wars, people were told to stay home. Only people who were part of Melach were told to go to work. Meshech Lishat Chirum. Rabbi Lichtenstein, for one day, accepted that decision. But he couldn't stay home. And the next day he said, Shat Chirum? Ani Shat Chirum. Teaching Torah in the yeshiva, Zeh Shat Chirum. And he traveled from Yerushalayim to Gush Etzion to be in the yeshiva. And Rav Meir said, with his father's mitah in front of him, he said, Abba, Zot ha'emda shelcha. This is your post. This is where you did your shmilah. And I think it's very appropriate and necessary that we gathered here tonight in Shiftei Israel in honor and memory of Rav Beller. This is his post. It's very uncomfortable in this situation to stand here in his post. I've been here before. We would debate, remember the opening of Shavuot? We take turns on the post. Okay, that's fun. He was inviting. It was a good way to exchange ideas, to teach, but to stand here instead of him. But it's the right and the proper thing for all of us to do here in Shiftei Israel. This is his post. This is the point from which he taught, he created. Also Shiftei Israel. Also everything that has been mentioned about the general community. But also being part and the leader of Shiftei Israel was something that gave him koach to be able to expand from here to the broader community. On the day of the funeral of the levaya, a few people asked me, are there going to be a spedim in the shul? I felt it was so right that we should do that. It wasn't possible on Erev Pesach. We had a small time frame from the Chevra Kadisha in which it could be. The family decided 10:30. People were coming from Gush Etzion and other places, and we just couldn't do it. Also stop and have hespedim as would be worthy here. Bamakom shehu limed Torah. But we couldn't do it on Erev Pesach. It was amazing. It was so powerful that so many people came on Erev Pesach on such short notice, on a day that all of us are so much in a rush. But we couldn't do also that. So tonight, I feel as a tikkun is proper. And we should all continue learning Torah, teaching Torah from here, and mentioning and giving life to the Torah that we all learned from Rav Daniel Beller. I asked myself, leading to this evening, what would Rav Beller have said? If it was someone else, some other situation, and he was here with us, I would have gone to him and asked him and consulted with him. What would you say? We are almost the same, almost exactly the same age. Maybe a few weeks apart, 5, 6 weeks apart. I would go to him and ask his advice. Because I saw in Rabbi Beller someone with wisdom, understanding of people, understanding of what can work well with people, what can upset people, what would be a good idea to do, what would not be a good idea to do. I could ask him, I could consult with him. His understanding of people maybe comes from his own depth of being such a Ben Adam, such a mensch, such a human being, so human, so humanistic, so enoshi. Rav Katzin said to me before, it's always uncomfortable being the last speaker. You're always afraid everything you've prepared, everyone else is going to say already. And it's true, everyone has said it already. Some of it. But that's the point. We all saw the same thing. Because it was so powerful. It was so present. The love for people, the connection to people. I see it in the connection to different ages, to people from different walks of life, to people from different circles of Am Yisrael, as has been mentioned. And I'd like to add one point to these ksharim, these connections that Rav Beller could make with everyone. And that is total lack of judgment. I felt it as a friend, that it enabled me to be a close friend. I was not afraid. I was not afraid to speak the truth. I was not afraid. Maybe I will say something and one day I'll remember that I said that and I'll say, that's not a good attitude. That's not right. That's not proper. I knew. Anything I said, we could discuss, we could disagree, but it would never be judgmental. Is not being judgmental, does that mean that you don't have emunah, that you don't have faith, that you don't have a derech, that you are not absolutely clear, adamant about something that you believe in? Of course, it doesn't mean that. Rav Beller was very powerful about many things. I'd like to say he also had a sense of criticism. He could criticize. He could say this is wrong and that is wrong about something that people do wrong, about the way that different things are handled, of all kinds of different walks of life, whether it's friends, kehillah, rabbis, whatever. But criticism and judgment are not the same thing. I have my opinions, I have my beliefs. I can criticize something that someone else does wrong. That doesn't mean I'm judging you. That means I think it should be done differently. It should be done better. That doesn't mean on a personal level that I'm judging you, that I'm passing judgment, that I know where he came from, what his value is. Ech HaKadosh Baruch Hu shofet oto. I don't know that. Total lack of judgment. Rabbi Nachman Mibreslav, the famous Torah Reish Pei talks about ללמד זכות. כי צריך לדון את כל האדם לכף זכות. Always finding the good in people. It's fascinating because then Rav Nachman says, you know, even in who should you find me'at tov? Even in yourself. Maybe sometimes it's easier to look at someone else and find zchut and me'at tov, and only then you can bring it to yourself. I feel Rabbi Beller was also totally without judgment about himself. He could make fun of himself. He could know his strengths, and maybe he could know his weaknesses, but it wasn't judgmental. He knew who he was. He knew what he could do. He didn't try to do what wasn't his, and he went full force to do that which was his Torah in the world. We all know that his Torah in the world is irreplaceable. I mentioned in the past when he fell ill and couldn't do all the different missions that he was busy doing. A few times people turned to me to fill in for some of them. One or two I could do, I couldn't handle it. All of us, every one of us, every person individually, every rabbi, we will try to do our best. We will try to be who we are, what we can be. Not one of us, and not all of us together. We cannot be that koach that Rabbi Daniel Beller was. We just don't have it. We can't do it. He was unique. He was special. A few months ago, we were here together in Tefillah, and I had the zchut to speak then, and I was optimistic. I had visited him that same day, and he was with all his wits, with all his koach, not all of his physical koach. And I was very encouraged, and I came with that encouragement to that evening. And I mentioned it to everyone. And along the way, there were moments of optimism. There was a time that we felt things were going in the right direction. I came to visit, and he was telling me about the new treatment, and there was a bdika, and it was good, it was positive. We were all so hopeful and believing. But then, lo zachinu. I mentioned then, and I want to mention now as well, I had the chance, I had the opportunity to say to Rabbi Beller something which I never said until that visit, and that is to say to him, I love you. And he told me the same. I wanted to have another opportunity to tell him that when I understood that the situation was turning in the direction that we were afraid of. And I'm sorry forever that I never had that opportunity. We didn't expect it. We knew the situation was dangerous. We were afraid. We never thought it was coming so fast. I'd like to mention something that I take. I'm grateful to my daughter Mayan, my son-in-law Ariel. You all know them in Shiftei. They have the zchut to be part of your mission and project here at Shiftei. Some years ago, Mayan, my daughter, in preparing and studying for a Teudat Horah, a teacher's degree, interviewed Rabbi Beller and found that interview on their computer. They brought it to the Bellers immediately. And we have it, and if anyone else is interested, we can certainly send it out. I'd like to mention some things from that interview, because this is part of the reflection of the uniqueness of Arav Beller. And again, these are things that have been mentioned already. These are the unique powers, the unique success of Arav Beller. The circles, the scope of the circles, the breadth, the variety of the circles of the people who he touched in Ra'anana are amazing. You see it and you hear it all the time. During the time that we were praying for his recovery, in the weeks since his passing in the Levaya. You see it and hear it all the time. Some of the quotes, Arnie, that you quoted also give us that perspective again and again and again. So unique. But I want to quote one quote that should tell us a little bit about the process. It's a long interview, maybe 9 pages long. I'm not going to read 9 pages. זה רק ב7-8 שנים האחרונות שאני עושה את זה. It's only in the last 7-8 years that I've been doing this. This is a few years ago. אני כל הזמן הייתי מסתובב פה ברעננה. הייתי הולך ברגל, עובר ליד בית ספר אוסטרובסקי. I would walk and pass by בית ספר אוסטרובסקי. And I would say to myself, איך נכנסים למקום הזה? How do you get in here? It didn't happen by chance. It didn't happen by luck. His heart, his head, he was looking for a way in. He was looking for this kesher, for this connection, for this chiyut, to give this chiyut in places where it wasn't usual and it wasn't expected. One day, הזמינו אותי באוסטרובסקי ליום רבי. אני נתתי סדנה, I would never dare. Rabbi gave a sadna, a workshop, with high school students from Ostrovsky. למה אדם דתי עלול להרוג ראש ממשלה? I would never. But he did. It was provocative. He says it himself, it was provocative. It was provocative in the sense of, let's create a discussion. Let's make something happen here in the air between us. And then we'll see where it can grow from there. When he left, he said, the woman who was arranging it said, wow, התלמידים ממש נהנו, will you do another one? That was the beginning. ואז הבנתי שיש אנשים שמסתובבים עם כל מיני דברים. It's there, you have to ignite it. And then it was Tanakh. A Tanakh teacher said to him, listen, this is terrible. All we're teaching at the school is Torah Teudot, is Bible criticism. And their Talmidim were upset about it because they come from traditional homes. Maybe they're not what we call dati. Maybe they don't keep mitzvot, me'alef ad tav. They're upset about this. What can you do about it? He says, I'm willing to come if I can speak my mind with the Torah of Rav Breuer. הגושניקים יודעים על מה מדובר, אולי גם מעבר למעגלי הגוש. Of Breuer, Mordechai Breuer's attitude to how we take the essence of the analysis of Bible criticism, but it's all studied be'emunah shlema. He came with that to class. They were in shock, and the Tanakh teachers said, "Sof sof mashu im neshama." And he says, Rabbi Beller, it's so ironical. I come from the Gush, which is considered עם הכי פחות נשמה. שטויות, but it's considered עם הכי פחות נשמה. Rav Breuer, the most academic teacher at Gush. סוף סוף משהו עם נשמה. And things grew and developed from there, and there's a whole 9 pages, which, as I said, I can't read the whole thing. I just want to focus on some main points. He says, why did I get into this whole area? מתוך הראייה הכללית שלי בתור רב קהילה. From my perspective as a רב קהילה, you might think that a רב קהילה, his mission ends within these walls. Whoever comes into the קהילה, that's part of my mission. Someone who is outside of the walls of this קהילה, that's not part of my mission. No. His vision as a רב קהילה is that a rabbi should be accessible to the general public in the area. Here in Ra'anana, you make a Hanukkah party and you get the kids from different places to come. A Seudat Shabbat, all kinds of things. And the trips to Poland, which also have been mentioned a few times, you went with the Talmidim to Poland. And I want to tell you this story. מבחינת דקות, שעות, לא עשיתי כל כך הרבה. He says I was there with them in Poland. I wasn't the madrich, I wasn't the head of the mission. I was the Rav. I didn't do so much. I said Kaddish, El Mele Rachamim, blew the shofar. I remember he told me about that. Wow, it did something to the children. To try and teach Gemara. Kids of Ostrovsky and Yeshivat Chachmei Lublin. But what I want to mention is the following. לעשות קבלת שבת שזה הכי מוזר. Friday night davening, in the Chadar Ochel, wherever it is in Poland, and a tish after the davening, after the Seudah, after the meal. A tish for the Chevra from Ostrovsky. And why is it very strange? האוכל לא היה כשר לרוב התלמידים. How many of us want to be there? Where the ochel is not kosher, where the food is not kosher. But these are Jewish kids. And I can connect with them. And I can make a tish and a Friday night davening. And after the davening, they're going to eat some of them non-kosher food. And after the non-kosher food, I'm going to make a tish. And then when they meet me on the streets of Ra'anana, he would tell this. They say, "Hi, Rav Meller." They had a figure, they had a rabbi. They had someone to connect them. En milim, there are no words to describe how unique this is. And as I said, I'm sure there are other people doing it. There will be others doing it. There is no tachlif, there's no one who can do what Rabbi Beller did. I remember several years ago. I brought a group of 7th and 8th grade boys for Shabbat to Ra'anana, and I wanted someone to do something with them. 7th and 8th grade boys, these are not Bachorei Shiva, Shiur Bet, Gimel, Dalet, these are 7th, 8th grade boys. It was so obvious who to turn to. It's Rabbi Beller, in our living room. He did presentations of Harry Potter figures. I don't think the movies were out yet. I think it was just the books. And from every figure, he learned Torah. He learned the message. How many people in the world can do that? Is there nechama? Is there consolation? Of course, I don't think anything I can say to you, the family, I don't believe it can be nechama. To you, Kirat Shiftei Israel, to all of us, I don't think there is total nechama. We continue, we go on in life. It was Erev Pesach. We have the Seder. We have Chol HaMoed, Shvi Shel Pesach. We go back to work. We have our families. And every once in a while it hits me again. And I'm still in shock. And I still don't understand. And I'm still asking the question, wow, why did this happen? I don't think there's total nechama. But the nechama that I find is in the tremendous accomplishments. How much he accomplished, how much he got done. Is it ptzatzat energia? How much he did, how much he got done. What an impact it left on so many thousands of people. What a continuing impact will it have on their families, when they get married, when they have children, Jewish children, whatever they choose in their lives, as much Judaism as they choose in their lives. I want to strengthen so much that attitude. There's such an argument. We could make a debate about that on Shavuot. There's such an argument between us. Should we or shouldn't we? Maybe we're giving the wrong message. Maybe we're giving a message that it's okay to be kacha k'tzat masorti, a little bit traditional, and not be careful about all of Torah mitzvot. Anyone who knew Rabbi Beller knew that's not the message. But at the same time, to give the message that anything that connects you to your Yiddishkeit is tremendous, is valuable. And I will be there to help you do that, no matter what. No matter what else goes around in your life, I will be there to help you do that. I want to support that, to strengthen that, and to spread that attitude. I believe it is so important for Am Yisrael in this time, in this place. And I'd like to end with a quote from Sefer Gesher HaChaim, a quote from the Zohar. I'll try to translate. והכל הולך ושב למקומו. Everything returns to its place. בהתפרד החבילה המשותפת של הגוף והנשמה. When the joint package of guf and neshama is separated, חוזרים כל יסודות הגוף למקומותיהם הם, והנשמה למקומה היא. The body goes back to where the body comes from, and the neshama goes back to where that comes from. והרוח תשוב אל האלוהים אשר נתנה. והתפשטות הגבייה היא רק שינוי לבוש. It's only a change of clothing, a change of appearance. מלבוש חומרי מגושם ללבוש רוחני מזוכח אצילי. From something which is material to something which is spiritual. And the Zohar says, כמה דיהבי לנשמת הלבושה דמתלב של המקם בהי עלמא. As we dress our neshama in this world, החינמי יהבי ללבושה דזהב העילה למקם בי לההוא עלמא. As we dress our neshama in this world, that is what we have to wear in the next world. Zakayin tzadikaya, that tzadikim have a zchut, that they have special clothing. Avidu levushi yikar. They made themselves special clothing in this world, special spiritual clothing. Uve'ahu levusha zminin le'achaya u'lemeikam. In this clothing, they will rise in tchiyat hametim. This is not physical clothing. It doesn't matter what physical clothing anyone will be wearing. It's the spiritual clothing. Man dezachi lehanu levushim. Whoever had the merit, the zchut to have this special clothing. Me'uvdin tavin, from the good actions, David barnash behai alma, that a person did in this world, befikudei oraita, and the mitzvot of the Torah. Uvehon kaima nishmata. That is what the neshama has to wear. That is the clothing that he has in the world to come. I've mentioned in the past at a funeral here and there this Zohar, and I've said that we know this person and he had zchuyot, mitzvot, ben adam lachavero, ben adam lamakom, good deeds. He's well dressed in olam haemet. But when I thought of this today, I thought that when we saw Rabbi Bella, we saw him so well dressed spiritually. Ba'olam hazeh, we saw what he was spiritually wearing. We saw it here, ba'olam hazeh. We saw the love. We saw the lack of judgment. We saw believing in everyone. We saw carrying the Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, from within this keilah to the broader keilah. We saw the care for halacha, for Torah, shiurei Torah, for having lots and lots of Torah learning in shiftei and in general circles. We saw that spiritual clothing, ba'olam hazeh. And if we saw it here, how powerful is it? Ba'olam haemet. I'm afraid I can't offer nechama more than that. All I can say is, to Arnie, to the children, to Yonatan and Nicole, you had a husband, a father, a brother, a son, to Rav Daniel's father, who had a tremendous light. Ba'olam hazeh. To so many people, to so many circles. And that light, in one sense, has disappeared from our eyes. In another sense, we see it all over the place. And you'll continue meeting people who have been affected by that light. And you'll see that light. And that light is going to continue to shine and to spread around the world in some ways that you will meet and encounter, and in some ways that you won't even know about. But it's out there, continuing to grow, continuing to bring light, and to shine light of love and emunah and Torah in the world. And as I said, I just want to say one more time, Rabbi Daniel Beller, my dear friend, Daniel, love you. I appreciate you so much. We all do. I say this in the name of everyone here. We all love you. We look up to you. We thank you for everything that we got from you. We would like to go on and on and on talking about it. But just because of the clock, we have to stop. But it continues endlessly.